What's going on, Warriors fans? Back with another video. I'm not gonna lie to you, we've lost a lot of games since the last video I posted. Like we was on a good losing streak, and then we beat the Wizards. But let's be real, it's the Wizards. That's why I intended on making a video after that game, but I was like, after what they just allowed and letting Bam score 83 in the facet in which they did with all them free throws, there's no way I am even putting any stock into that Wizards game. And like I said, I know KP had a great game in that game, scoring 30 points, but once again, it's the Wizards. That team needs to be just abolished. That team needs to be disbanded immediately. That is probably one of the worst ran franchises, worst ran organizations I've seen in a long time. The only other team I could think about that's as bad as them was the Charlotte Bobcats. That team was straight garbage. But yeah, Wizards, as of right now, they're trying to contend with that spot as far as one of the worst teams of all time. So yeah, that's right. I didn't put any stock into that game. That being said, at least with all this losing that's been going on, at least we're in the 10th seed. Like that, to me, that's the only positive sign I could take away. That's the only positive I can even remotely think of as far as closing out this season, as far as just losing games, losing. Now, it sucks that we can't go further down than that. If we could drop down to the 11th, 12th seed, I would be all for it, but it's impossible. We're stuck at this 10th seed. The teams below us they've been tanking for a long time, so there's no way we're catching them. But like I said, with everything considered, I will take this 10th seed spot. We're not going lower than that. And then when you factor in the teams that's going to be in the first and second seed, in the Spurs and the Thunder, I really don't want to play them in the first round and just get the brakes beat off of us. What are we really looking forward to if we do find our way into a playoff series against those two teams? I know we're not tanking. Technically, we're not tanking. But with the personnel we have on this team, there's no way we can get wins against quality teams unless they just literally take their foot off the gas against us. Because the roster we have and just the personnel, with the personnel that we have on the floor, there's really no go-to guy. And shout out Guy Santos. I'm gonna be honest with you, he's been hooping. Like I'm starting to wonder, like, why was he not getting burned this whole time? This is what I'm saying. This is the whole problem I have with Kerr. Like, you can't tell me he just came into his own this late into the season. No, he was not getting run. Kerr, for whatever reason, wanted to run mini guard, like 4 or 5 guard lineups. That I don't understand the logic. Clearly, he can play. He clearly can play. He clearly has a feel for the game, a good eye for the game, a good read for the game. But I'm glad he's getting his opportunity, and he is showing out. But now, with that still being said, I'm worried because I think the premise is Steph Curry is still coming back. First of all, why? Why are we even risking Steph Curry potentially getting injured, re-injuring himself this late into the season? What are we fighting for? What are we trying to win? We're not winning a championship. We're not winning a playoff round. This is the Warriors. There's no more victories for us. It's either championship or bust. But now, like, y'all trying to still salvage and still trying to make this a competitive way to go out. For what reason? We're not winning. Sit Steph down. And like I said, I'm more worried for Guy's sake because, like, he's been hooping. Let him build his confidence. Let him figure out in which ways he needs to improve his game going forward. Like, as far as when Steph Curry comes back, I already know how this team plays when he's on the court. Everything revolves around Steph. Everything revolves around getting Steph open, getting Steph the ball. Are you going to tell me that's going to be any different when Steph comes back? No, I feel like he's going to step on the growth of all the young players. And like I said, I don't really care about the other ones, but Guy, as from what I've seen these past stretch of these handful of games, he's the only one I could say has really made an impression to where I'm like, with the opportunity and with him working on his game, he could actually be a quality player for us. Like I said, it's hard for me to say as far as what his ceiling could be or like who he could be compared to for us. But he still showed me enough to where, like, I would rather see him just get as many touches, as many opportunities to just be our primary scoring option, because that's really what it is. It's between him and Brandon Pajemski, but let's be fair. Honestly, even with Brandon Pajemski, like I said, I'm not even going to spread any negativity towards him right now. Like, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure a lot of people is realize we need a better backup point guard option going forward. I feel like if you can't see this by now, it is what it is. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not a good, truly backup point guard. Like, I don't know if it was the last game against Boston or the game before that, where he couldn't even get the ball past half court with like when the defender was pressing him. Like, that's how, like, he's not really a guard. Like, it's so weird to me. He can't really dribble. He can't really get past his initial defender, especially if he's being pressed. That's one. Like, if he's able to get a good angle off the catch or off the move, and where he could get downhill as soon as possible, he's serviceable. But when you're talking about breaking down your defender when he's in front of you, no, he has a hard time doing that. At this point, I'm like I said, even with him, I would rather Steph not come back, just allow him to get more opportunity, just to hopefully increase his trading value. I don't want to see him on this team. And like I said, the only way I can see that happening is if he just goes out here for these last handful of games and ball out. Yes, like I said, I really don't want to see any of the old guys play. I just feel like the young guys, they finally have an opportunity of getting some burn, getting some run, getting some confidence. Like, that's really the thing they need, is confidence. So I don't want to see none of the vets play at this point in time. Just, you might as well bring the whole G League team up and just see what we got going forward. See what other NBA teams may be excited about the prospect, any of these young prospects on our team, because we traded away JK. That was our most exciting, or our most sought out trading piece. Who else do we have? Yeah, so with that being said, I want them to just let the young guys get some run. Steph Curry coming back is only going to make things worse. They only going to pass the ball to Steph. They only going to focus on getting Steph the ball. I don't want to see that again. Dre, sit him down. Al Horford, Steph Curry, I know they're injured. They might as well not come back the rest of the season. The only person that truly needs to play is Kristaps Porzingis. He's the only one really fighting for like an NBA contract or like his NBA livelihood. Not trying to sound over dramatic, but he really needs to prove to the league and to himself that he can still be healthy out there on the floor. He's the only one we need to see whether or not he's really going to be a salary dump or an actual player we're going to invest as far as in the future with going forward. That's the only player that needs to play, and needs to play as many games as possible for these last stretch of games, because like I said, I don't really know the severity of his illness, and I really don't know what's the reason why he's been in and out the lineup. But one thing I will give him credit for, he's played like the last 4 out of 5 games. I know I made a video discussing the trade between him and JK. I didn't even think he was going to play that many games going forward, because everything I was seeing up until that point looked kind of iffy. So the fact that he's played as many games as he has, I'm gonna give him some props for that. But another person who I feel like I've been attacking a lot recently is Steve Kerr. I will say one thing in this stretch of games I've been watching. I am glad you are simplifying your offense. I feel like it's far too late. This should have already been implemented whenever Steph Curry is not on the floor. The fact that you're now really spamming pick and rolls, which, as you can see, with us doing so, we at least can generate quality offense. Now, whether the shot goes in or not, that's a whole nother discussion to be. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic that I will discuss probably in another video. As far as shooting way too many threes, we don't have a team that's made of 3-point specialists. So why are we taking as many threes as we are? If I'm not mistaken, I think they say we lead the league in 3-point attempts. That is egregious. Where is the mid-range game? Where is the paint game? Oh my God. Like I said, I'm going to discuss that in a whole nother video. But like I said, I'm just glad, Curry, you finally decided. Just make the game as simple as possible. And like I said, that should have always been the case if Steph Curry is not on the floor. That motion offense truly only works with Steph. And now you took away Clay, you took away KD. The motion offense don't look as potent as it once did. Which, like I said, you could still run it with Steph on the floor, but it needs to be other variables, other options to go towards when it's just not running as smooth. But yeah, that being said, yeah, I pretty much covered everything in this video. What I know what I will do going forward, especially being that the playoffs is right around the corner, I will be branching out with other teams, which I'm looking forward to. The only team I'm not really looking forward to covering is the Lakers. I can't stand that team with a passion, and it's really just it's LeBron. And listen, I don't like his fans. They talk too much crap. They think they got it like that. So, but that's the only team I'm dreading talking about, especially with this recent stretch of games. They've been on a little roll, and it's killing me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like seeing them win. I don't like seeing the Lakers fans happy. No. But Alex, I'm looking forward to it. I mainly will be covering the Western Conference teams. Because it impacts the Warriors as far as this season and going forward. And to be fair, the Eastern Conference to me is trash. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you only got like 2 teams you can respect. Honestly, I would say one. The Celtics. Detroit is the only other team that you could potentially put into that category as far as respectable teams, because they got the #1 seed. So you at least got to give them some type of credit for doing so. But every other team in the Eastern Conference, I'm not really that high on. The Knicks, as long as Jalen Brunson is their best player, I don't really see you have a chance of doing anything major in the playoffs. The Cavs, you got James Harden on your team. We've all seen his playoff struggles. I don't even know any other team in the Eastern Conference that's even remotely should be brought into this conversation. The Sixers, you got 2 dudes that can't stay on the court. So if it's like Eastern Conference, I'm not really going to be talking about y'all team at all. Boston do look scary though. I will at least say that. They've gained my respect over the years, because it was a point where I did not care for them at all, but they proved me wrong, and I will put respect on Boston going forward, especially with as long as they got Derek White on that team and him just being like that Swiss Army knife. They're going to be a problem, and with Tatum looking better game to game. Yeah, the Eastern Conference, not only just the East, but just everybody better be on notice. The Celtics look like they're probably legit again. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. But if you stay to the end, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.